You know, in the literal sense, the old phrase, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, it doesn't actually make literal sense. But you know what I'm saying when I say it, and so I will use it in just a moment. I'm actually jumping in the car. Well, not jumping, I'm stepping into the car, and I'm going to be heading to Bible Tracts Incorporated. Got a few things to take care of today, and this coming weekend, I'll be taking the RV, the motorhome, out for one of the last times of the year. Realize it's getting a little colder. It doesn't work well under about 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and so we'll be very careful not to freeze ourselves out. But that old phrase, and by the way, just by way of introduction, in case we're not familiar with each other, my name is Mike McCurry. I have the privilege of being the host of Bible Tract Echoes. That's the program you are listening to right now. Back and out of the driveway, beautiful fall colors. Some of the trees, a few of the trees, haven't yet lost their leaves, thankfully. Hopefully you have some beautiful fall colors where you are, but that old phrase, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Well, for me, I do have something that I've said probably no less than 1,000 times, and it's this. One of the great crying shames of my generation is a lack of gratitude. Yes, ingratitude, a lack of gratefulness. And of course, we are in that time of year when we should be thankful. It should not be the only time of year when we are thankful, but Thanksgiving, just a little while away. And I hope you have a spirit of Thanksgiving. I hope it's not a foreign sensation to you. You know what the Bible says about it: enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. That verse in Psalm 100, which I quoted just a small bit, that's a biblical command. We should be, as Christian people, we should be grateful. We should be thankful. Next week on the broadcast, actually, we are going to have what I like to call a week of Thanksgiving, a week of thankfulness. We will be, if the Lord allows us and enough of you respond, we are going to be talking about all the ways I and our listeners are thankful. We've done this before. I think we did it last year. It's been a little while. Honestly, I should probably do it a couple times throughout the year instead of just the week of Thanksgiving. But what I'd like you to do is this. I'd like you to ponder right now what you are thankful for. Now, later on this week, we're going to get back into a little bit of a Bible study. We're going to talk about some specific gospel tracts that we print at Bible Tracts Incorporated. But right now, could we just pause? Maybe you're listening in the morning. Maybe you're listening in the afternoon, the evening, even the wee hours of midnight. But could you pause? There are so many things that dominate our time, and so few of them are thankfulness. You know, if we reached for, figuratively speaking, thankfulness the way we reach for our phones, if we reached for gratefulness the way we talk to Alexa and all the different apps and all the different technology that we have today, if we truly pondered how good we have it and how much we have to be thankful for. Now, I must be very clear that this is not an admonition that I'm giving just to American Christians, and I'm going to beat you about the head and shoulders and tell you you have it so much better than the rest of the world. Now, that is factually true. But I'm speaking to every Christian who woke up this morning with air in their lungs and knew, whether they wanted to act like it or not, that God is still on the throne. We have it good, do we not? Sure, there's much to moan about, there's much to complain about, and if you want to focus on those things, then you can focus on those things. But you know as well as I that that's not healthy. You know as well as I that that's not biblical, scriptural. That's not what God would want us to do. You know as well as I that given the choice, we should be thankful. And we do have a choice. We are not forced by our circumstances to complain. We are not forced by the situations of life to whine and absolutely begrudge every waking moment. You say, Brother Mike, I thought we were going to pause and talk about thankfulness, and here you are preaching at us. Well, sometimes I need to look at myself in the mirror, and I need to get a little firm. I need to get a little bit stern with myself. I've got to pull myself up by the bootstraps, to use another old turn of phrase, and I've got to maybe slap myself across the face a bit. And I've got to say, Micah, today's a day we're going to be thankful. Oh, by the way, tomorrow will be as well. The day after that, yep, it's already locked down. It's already on the calendar as a day we're going to be thankful. We're not just reserving thankfulness for a Thursday in November. We are going to choose to be thankful all year round, all life long. Now, I realize that can be a tall order sometimes, and oftentimes I fail. Oftentimes, I think about what I have going on. I think about the crush of responsibility. I think about the weight of dealing with different circumstances, and especially those things for me personally. I'll confess my faults before all. For me, I get weary of dealing with people's sin that infringes upon me. Can I be blunt? There are some times that people do silly things and it becomes my problem. And you know what I think? What a fool am I that God, the God of all eternity, would send his only begotten Son to bear my sin on an old rugged tree. That's something to be thankful for. And here I am whining and complaining because someone else's sin, and you know how it is, sin begets sin, and sometimes people make a mistake, and then your reaction to it is actually, seems to almost be a worse sin, and you have a bad attitude, and you let it infect you, and then you try to spread it around, because the best thing about a bad attitude is sharing it with everybody else, right? No. So that's for me personally. Sometimes I deal with that. Sometimes I can be very human in that way. But then I think, what a God we serve. What a blessing it is to know that James 4:6, he giveth more grace. Aren't you glad he's given you more grace? Maybe, just maybe, that we could forgive other people. We could give a little more grace. We could follow the command of giving forgiveness 70 times 7, figuratively speaking, just an infinite amount of grace. And when that happens for me, and I realize that I've been a fool, when I realize that I've been a less than Christian, that I've been somewhat of a sorry example of thankfulness, and I also remember that, yes, we fall often, not just as scripture says 7 times, but the righteous man, the just man, riseth up again. You will fall. You will fail at thankfulness. I don't say that to you to make you feel badly about yourself. I'm saying it because it's true. We all will. But aren't you glad he forgives? Aren't you glad that he forgets our sin? And he forgets how ungrateful we have been? I'm thankful for his grace. There's so many things I'm thankful for. And what I'd like you to do is this. I'd like you to ponder what you are thankful for. And sometime, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, I may mention it a couple times, but sometime this week or early next week, I'll be mentioning it all next week. But I'd love for you to send me a text and tell me what you are thankful for. Depending on how many I get in, we normally have dozens of states respond, hundreds of people. I want to say last year we were pushing somewhere north of 200 plus people that responded. So I'd love to hear from you. So depending on how many we have, we may or may not get to yours, but I'm going to read and I'm going to share as many as I can over the airwaves next week on Bible Tract Echoes. So what I'd like you to do is send me a text. You can text me right now. Here's my cell number. I'll say it a couple times slowly so you don't miss it. If you'd like to text me, just say, I'm thankful, and then fill in the blank. I'm thankful for ... and you tell me what it is. You can text me at this number, 309 316-7240. Again, that number is 309-316-7240. And maybe what you're thankful for is family related. Maybe it's about your church, maybe your children, maybe it's about the beauty of nature. I'm driving past bare cornfields right now on my way to Odell, Illinois, where the Bible Tracts Incorporated building is. But there's kind of a sparse serenity to nature right now surrounding me. These cornfields that have been recently stripped bare of all the fruit that they bore in this harvest season, and many a farmer hopefully is counting earnings this year because of what these fields produced. And beyond them, I see the trees with the beautiful colors of autumn. And I'm thankful for all those things. But I don't want you to hear so much what I'm thankful for. I want everyone else to hear what you are thankful for. So that cell number, one more time, is this. Text me at 309-316-7240. Now, I'm about to turn the corner and pull into the Bible Tracts building. And we have something else I'm thankful for is this amazing building that God has given us. But while I do so, I'd like you to ponder for the last 70 seconds that I'll be on the air this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you happen to be listening, of course, with time zones and all that type of stuff. Even internationally, people hear this broadcast sometimes around the clock. But while we conclude today, I'd like you to think about what you're thankful for. What has God done for you? What special blessing could you look back on, maybe from this last year, or maybe something that's been a lifelong encouragement that you can't help but say, I'm thankful for? If there is only one thing accomplished by this radio broadcast, and it was to call some Christians to a renewed sense of thanksgiving, I would feel like that was an accomplishment. I would feel like that was a battle worth winning. But it's an individual battle. Will you let the battle be won today in you? Or will you persist in being unthankful? I sure hope not. My prayer today, as always, is that you will have a wonderful day, a great day for His glory. Now, we'll be praying that many of you respond. That cell number 309-316-7240. If I can add one additional prayer, my prayer is that you today will be very, very thankful. God bless, and we'll talk to you very soon.